5 generations, Geller Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico.
The Home Depot.
This is
more done.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
How would you recognize them?
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungryAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, the Ad Council.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack Hanna. Since I was a boy growing up on a farm in Tennessee,
We would
I've been
like to thank
fascinated
the
with
following
animals.
sponsors
Not only
for
in
making
awe of
this
their beauty and
broadcast
kindness, but
possible.
also their tireless work ethic. Just look at the birds who gather
We would
supplies
like
to
to
build
thank the
nests,
following
or
sponsors
fish foxes
for making
who
this
work hard to
broadcast
provide for
possible.
their young. Or penguins who travel up to 500 miles to secure food for their families. Or bush babies whose impressive jump allows them to navigate the trees. in the
Hi,
wild
my
in
name
search
is
of
Ruben,
fruit.
and I'm with the
This
New
remarkable
Mexico
work ethic
Educational
is shared by
Assistance
our best
Foundation.
friends,
We
the
are
canines.
proud sponsors of
We know
high
dogs
school
are our
and
wonderful
college
pets
sports.
at home, but because of their acute
Either
senses,
college or
they
trade,
also
we
perform
can help
life-saving
find
work
the
every
funding
day.
you need.
Dogs keep us safe at airports. They comfort returning veterans, some of whom
Go
suffer
to
from PTS. They work with
NFalsa.org.
diabetics,
That's
alerting them when there's a change in their blood chemistry. Working dogs have a variety of highly trained roles that contribute to society and those in need. So please join me in American Humanity to bring our awards working dogs all the amazing animals on this planet we have it together.
That's
Go
right
to
here for
AmericanHumanity.org to learn more.
That one is denied.
This from our side for the Sports Minute, sponsored by TGL, presented by SoFi. Tune in every week for TGL matches. After leading his Santo Domingo baseball team to both the Dominican Professional Baseball League and Caribbean Series crowns, Albert Pujols was named manager of the Dominican Republic team for next year's World Baseball Classic.
And the Stallion makes up for the mistake.
Albert Messiah.
Brought to you by Route 66 Casino Hotel. Put your game faces on and get ready to experience sports betting like never before. Caesars Sportsbook is taking over at Route 66 Casino Hotel with new game-dominating betting options, betting rewards, and the best sportsbook in the U.S. Let the games begin. Place your bets today. Get your chance.
This is KML Albuquerque 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Your home for the NFL, the Super Bowl, the NCAA tournament, and the Final Four. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, Merry March, and welcome to the madness, boys and girls. The calendar has flipped. The games have gotten increasingly crazy, and here we go. It is Monday. It is March, and we're coming off a heck of a weekend. Welcome to it, and thank you for waking up with us. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck on 95.9 FM. At AM 610, the Sports Animal. How you living?
What it do?
It do. It do. You had a crazy one in Fresno. How'd you? Were you down 20? How many in the first quarter? First half?
It was 25-7 at the end of the first quarter.
25-7 is 18 points, and it got worse from there, right?
And it was 31-9 with about 8:20 left in the second quarter.
31-9 is what?
22-point deficit.
Yeah, 22 points. And the Lobo women end up winning in Fresno. And how'd you feel at 31-9?
I was thinking what I was going to do the rest of the game. The coach
Did you have enough
talk
notes?
to me for the second game in a row. I have plenty of notes. I always have things to go to, but I'm like, all right, when do I really transition into just kind of storytelling mode, looking ahead to the final week game of the season and Mountain West tournament? But the bench stepped up, man, and it was a heck of a ride.
And so what was the final score on that? They came back 65-61 was the final. And they win. And what they did is secure themselves not having to play in the first round, which was big, right? I mean, that was gigantic.
Yes, and guess who they're probably going to play in the first round in the Mountain West tournament?
Who's that, Fresno State?
San Diego State.
San Diego State, well, they split with San Diego State, right?
It's a team that's knocked them out the last 3 years in Vegas.
Yeah, that is the team that's knocked them out the last 3 years in Vegas. All right, we got a lot to do. We're going to get into the ladies. Lobo men got back on track. Everything we said on Friday, everything that you and I sat here and said, right? This is just a get-right game. You don't play with your food. You got a team coming in who's capable, but you are better than them. You've lost 2 in a row. Just beat them. Whatever. If the spread's 18.5, beat them by 21. They beat them by 21. 92-71 was the number. The game was never in doubt. 23 points and 6 assists for Donovan Dent. Nelly Jr. Joseph, 14 and 13. Big deal that Mustafa Amsil played significant minutes and got himself 15 points to go with 5 rebounds. You beat a team that you should beat. Nobody's pounding their chest, but when you look around the league, Utah State loses to Colorado State, who's now just a game behind you, which is crazy what's going on in the standings. But a get-right game before going to Reno and taking on Nevada and trying. I mean, heck, you can secure everything with a win in Reno if things go right. You're going to be the number 1 seed, I'm certain. And just the way it was supposed to go if you're Richard Pitino and the Lobos on Saturday afternoon at the Pit.
Yeah, you know what these games mean. They are the ones that will hurt you. They're the ones that could put a needle pointing straight at your bubble with Air Force and at Reno and UNLV to end the season. But if you win, it puts you in position to stay where you are and maybe take advantage of a team that slips up around you in this NCAA tournament resume time when it comes to it. And what the Lobos did was pressure, force turnovers, get on a run, score in transition. As you said, what everyone expected to happen against Air Force, but you still got to go out there and do it. And they did a nice job. And seeing Amsil on the court as much, it's good. And honestly, just watching Mustafa the rest of the season, just keep your fingers crossed. And that's all you can do is hope that foot just stays in a place where he can be consistent for the Lobos.
Yeah, because it's a big piece, and in watching him score, he does so much more than just score for you. Lobos ran. The Lobos played their game. If you recall, what was it, JJ? 2 points on the fast break. I don't have the sheet in front of me. Against San Diego State, right? San Diego State completely took them out of what they do. And on Saturday, they had 28 fast break points, 28 points off of turnovers. They got back to what they do, pressure defense. They got back to what got them to being at that point 14-3, and really got them to be 14-1. And now they're 15-3 in league. But they forced Air Force into 20 turnovers, and they're 7-0 against Division I teams when they score 25 or more on fast break points. And 6 of those 7 have been in the Pit. But it's when they're at their best, that's what they're doing. They're forcing you into being uncomfortable. They're forcing the ball out, and they're getting out in space and running. And that's what they did on Saturday. That was significant. Now, again, against a team that they are better than, they're going to get a good test in Reno coming up. But it's everything, again, everything that they needed to do, everything that they had to go out and just get done. And I thought it was a good bounce back. I'm not going to lose my mind over beating Air Force by 21, but it was everything they needed to do to just kind of secure themselves and get back on track.
Right. It's a double-digit win is expected. And I know at this point in the season, you'll say, hey, any win's good. But when you're that much better than Air Force, they're a one-win conference team.
That's right.
You played 2 tough road games. They had to come out and blow them out the belt. Like, the last thing that they needed was a close game where, yeah, they win it in the final couple possessions, but then you have to talk about that and go, well, hey, it's conference games, it's going to be tough. No, you need to blow this team out at home. And they took care of business, and they focused on Nevada. And is it going to be tough? Sure, but Nevada's not good, man. They're a roller coaster ride up and down. Yeah, Kobe Sanders can score, Davidson couldn't go off, but again, if you're this team that wants to be a regular season champ, be the number 1 seed, and not have another blemish on a resume, got to go handle business in Reno.
Well, yeah, and this would be a blemish, right? If I was just looking at the standings, and I'm looking, at the net rankings are so bizarre because Utah State's been scuffling, and Utah State is still at 39 in the net. The Lobos are at 44. And in Jerry Palm's latest bracket on CBS Sports, the Mountain West, Utah State didn't move much after getting run out of their building by Colorado State, 93-66. He still got them at a 3 seed. And San Diego State is at a 10. I'm sorry, he still got them at a 9 seed, and San Diego State at a 10 seed. In Nevada, what's Nevada's net? 71. I mean, look, it isn't one of those that goes down as a bad loss, but it would be a bad loss at this point. Just got to get it done. The other thing that was interesting in the Lobo game, and there were a lot of things that were interesting, what'd you make of Ibrahima Sakho earning the playing time over Tiki as the main backup to Nelly Jr. Joseph?
Well, after the game, what Pitino said, it wasn't. It was just because Sakho's been playing better in practice. Well, I think it's evident too that Tiki is not ready for meaningful minutes yet. Like I think anytime you see him on the floor, people are holding their breath. And is there a good athlete there? Yes, but even in those few minutes, you're just as a Lobo fan watching. Like, oh my gosh, when is Nelly Jr. Joseph come back on the floor?
Yeah, well, look, there's got to be somebody. You've got two really good athletes, I think, to spell him. And Atiki defensively is you more concerned about him defensively? Because I think that's where I am.
I think it's just everything right now.
Yeah.
Like you get out there and it's like defend and rebound. You're not Nelly Jr. Joseph, but you have a body that you need to be getting in the way and rebounding. And just some of his minutes lately, even in those spurts, just think left a bad taste in your mouth. And Pitino sees it, man. And there's a reason that his rotation is as tight as it is. And it's Donovan Dent playing all the minutes he can. And why Mustafa Amzil has to be healthy for this team to be successful.
Yeah. Appelhahn, this game was a little different. It got out of hand. You did get 4 minutes for Cade Dotson. Appelhahn's got 12, and he hit 6 points. C.J. Nolan's going to be your guy who gets your significant minutes along with Milicevic off your bench. That's your 7. And then whoever's going to back up Nelly and give you 6 to 7 minutes a game. Here's the deal, and Richard's got to figure this out, and he's in the process of it, right? There's going to be a game in a tournament somewhere, whether it's in Vegas, whether it's in wherever. JJ, if Nelly and you got the odds just tell you your big guy at some point is going to get in foul trouble, right? It's just what it is, and you're going to run into a big. And hell, it could be Davidson on tomorrow. It could be in the conference tournament if Guath is back and you run into them or whomever, and who's going to be your dude that goes in and takes those minutes and contributes with those minutes. And it's been Atiki Atiki all season long, and he's obviously made a shift here in game number 29 that Ibrahima Sakho has taken that spot. What do you think of the way Sakho played? Fine? Like okay?
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
hurt you?
what you're looking for at this moment in time. Those few minutes where you need to spell Nelly Jr. Joseph. Now, yeah, it changes everything if Nelly's in foul trouble or then you have to do something earlier or longer than expected. Yeah, then it's Jovan, it's Mustafa, it's Phillip, probably just quote unquote going smaller with those guys at the 5 and figure it out. But best case scenario, I think we're seeing what the rotation is going to be. It looks like Sakho is going to get an opportunity, just get some of those early Nelly needs to breathe their minutes.
All right, 505-246-0610. Come on in and play radio with us. Want your thoughts? We're going to get a lot of NFL stuff. Deebo Samuel's got traded this weekend. Matthew Stafford did not, thank goodness. There was a big emotional night down in Las Cruces I want to get into. I want to get into the state tournament brackets, which were released yesterday for the state basketball tournament. The Fresno State situation with the betting, and you started to learn a little bit more about what they're looking into there. So we got a ton to do. 505-246-0610 is how to get in today. Area code 505-246-0610. Emails come in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the X, it's _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, you can watch the show. We are on our Facebook page, The OD and the AM, and we are live on Comcast or Xfinity Channel 26. Adrian's producing there. JJ, I probably need you on the on the text line today because I'm not sure I've got access to it today. Is that cool? You have access to that?
Get it figured out.
Yeah, I might need that. All right, when we come back, I want to get further into this. Let's go through what happened in the league over the weekend, what it all means, and boy, there was some NBA stuff. And have you watched the Lakers and Luka and LeBron? Because that thing is clicking as well. Hey, if you're out looking for a piece of jewelry, any sort of jewelry, even if you're not, do yourself a favor and stop by John Thomas Jewelers. If you're shopping for the engagement ring, they've got over 3,000 ladies and men's bridal rings on hand just for you to see, try on. If they don't have exactly what you want, John will make it for you. He'll make it for you right there in that state-of-the-art custom design center that they have. It doesn't leave Albuquerque. It doesn't go to L.A. or Dallas or Denver. They do it right there, and I've watched it happen. But whatever it is, they will be your jeweler. They are the best jeweler in town, the only 5-star Google-rated full-service jewelry store in town, the fastest-growing jeweler in New Mexico for 3, now 4 straight years, and been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque 4 years in a row. This is my favorite one, though. They were voted the coolest jewelry store in America by In-Store Magazine. So why? Go see for yourself. You got to go out of your way a little bit. Now, you're not going to run into them in the mall. They're right across the street from the mall. But once you get there, you're going to understand why. Whatever you are thinking of, they'll walk you through it. And even if you're not really sure, and that's kind of the beauty of what they do, they're pros that way. They'll kind of show you different things, and something's going to catch your eye, hit your fancy, and you're going to be stoked. They're my jeweler. John Thomas Jewelers will be yours as well. 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 310, third floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana, 1 block south of Banal. JohnThomasJewelers.com.
Jim Rome
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Had to wait for the coffee maker to, fire up, dude. You know how important that is.
Very important in the morning. Very, very important.
Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. I want you to get in today, 505-246-0610. We'll get into the Pete Rose story, too, which I found very, very interesting, although not at all surprising. All right, elsewhere around the Mountain West, JJ, over the weekend, Lobos win 92-71. And so they take care of business. They secure their spot at the top of the standings. They are 15-3 and one game clear of the field. But who is in second place? And it's Colorado State, because Colorado State handled Utah State. JJ, I didn't see any of it. Did you see any? 93-66 CSU just whips Utah State.
Yeah, it was a little feel of the Lobos at Boise State in terms of, was this kind of the all right, tough road game, hit a bit of a wall, ran out of gas moment. But I think the team with the most questions at the top is Utah State at this point in time. Colorado State's a confident team, shown some consistency. Boise State getting hot at the right time. We know how tough the Aztecs can be with the defense that they play. And Utah State would be the team I'd be a little worried about.
On the bubble, you mean, as far as
just being able to, even if they get in, like finding a way to get consistency, just put some good games together at this point in the season.
They feel like they're going the other way. Well, some of these other teams are playing, the Colorado State's playing the best that they've played all year, I think now. I think San Diego State and Boise State are playing better. I feel like New Mexico, certainly coming off of the last game, is playing well. Utah State feels like if anybody's fading, it might be them. Boise State wins in Fresno 66-61 to go to 13-5. And then the Aztecs, what a weird game. San Diego State in Wyoming wins 72-69. Did you see any of that game? There were 3 technicals in 32 seconds in that game. Obi Ogbim got one. Then they called one on Brian Dutcher, who, the head coach of San Diego State, I mean, have you ever seen him lose his mind? He lost his mind. How to get controlled.
It's rare to that extent.
And then there was an inbounds play. Miles Bird, I guess, was defending an inbounds play and somehow said something, and they teed him up. And it was like, okay, even the announcers are just going, what are we doing up here? And Aztecs had to fight back, and come from behind and get a win on the road. And you know how they hate playing at altitude and complain about going up there so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just always this sort of, well, I mean, at altitude, like, man, life exists up there too. But that was a big win for them. So when I look at the standings, you got the 5 teams who separated themselves within basically 2 games of each other. And I don't know how it's going to play out because you got New Mexico and Boise State, or I'm sorry, New Mexico and Nevada play this week. The games this week are going to we got the 1 week left, and Tuesday, Colorado State is a home game with San Jose State. Boise State should win at Air Force, and San Diego State plays in Vegas. Vegas beat them, but if everybody holds serve, we're going to go into that last game. If everybody holds serve, the Lobos clinch the number 1 seed. But what they want is the outright title. Last game of the week, or on Saturday, that's it for CSU. San Diego State plays Nevada at home. I don't know that I see things changing that much, which means the standings come into play and get really, really interesting as far as where you are in the conference tournament. And so the way I'm reading it right now, JJ, is the Lobos would get the winner of the 8-9 game, right? Correct? Is that how you get it? And that would be San Jose State or Wyoming in the first round. And then they would get, if they get through that, the winner of Boise State. No, that's not right. 1, 2, 3. They get the winner of the San Diego State Boise State game on Friday night. I mean, there's no easy path. Once you get to Friday, you got to assume if everything holds. I mean, the semifinal round should be. It's one of my favorite days, honestly. That Friday night at the Mountain West tournament, because it's usually really, really good.
Because the way that Mountain West has been when it comes to men's basketball is you have multiple teams fighting not just for a conference championship, but to add to their tournament resume to still get a really good neutral site game on it. It's going to be no different this year. You look at that top 5, and each one of those teams can say, hey, this is why we can go in there and win in Vegas this week. And they all do have a pretty strong case as to why they could be the one that ripples off the wins, and that Friday is going to be awesome. And it's one for the Mountain West. Whatever combination, whatever 4 of those 5, that's what you want to see for your conference. And you tip your cap, all right, UNLV, Nevada, everyone else, appreciate you, but you want some form of 4 of those top 5 playing on Friday.
I think what you want, you can tell me I'm wrong, because I think San Diego State's got the tiebreaker against Utah State because of their win over New Mexico, right? Because they split, correct? Or did Utah State sweep them? Utah State swept them. So Utah State cannot fall behind San Diego State. I was thinking you want San Diego State on the other side of the bracket. You don't want them on Friday. You'd rather get Utah State. But I'm not sure that's possible at this point. Right? Utah State swept them. They did. They won in San Diego the first that early game by a point. Yeah, I don't know that you can get away from San Diego State, Boise State winner on Friday. I was thinking maybe you'd rather have Utah State, but I don't think that can happen. So that's how that thing plays out. Have you looked at the ladies' bracket at all?
Yes.
And how does it look? Lobo women were down by 22 points in the first half and won 65-61 in Fresno. Secure themselves a first-round bye.
They're playing in that 4-5 game.
They're playing in the 4-5 game, and it'll probably be San Diego State.
Will they be 4 or will they be 5 against the Aztecs? It will come down to tomorrow night because the Aztecs have 10 wins right now. But if they win, then they're an 11-win team, as is New Mexico. But San Diego State did beat UNLV. So, if you're going down, all right, record versus next best, edge to the Aztecs. So, still some movement there. But we know they're playing in that 4-5 game on Monday. Top of the conference, UNLV locked in 4 straight regular season title for the Lady Rebels. And then 2-3 between Colorado State and Wyoming.
Yeah, so if they win, they get into that. They have to play UNLV. All right, so that's where we are. One other thing I wanted to hit on over the weekend in college basketball in our state. New Mexico State with a big win on Saturday. They beat Western Kentucky 65-47. But to me, more significant was it was the final home game in the amazing career of Jack Nixon. And Jack, the voice of the Aggies for the last 40-plus years. Jack's been on the show. We had him on talking about retirement and going into the final season. And I want to get Jack back in again. But Jack is just an ultimate gentleman. Jack is an ultimate professional. Aggie fans, you grew up, and he was your soundtrack. As Mike Roberts was Lobo fans' soundtrack, Jack Nixon was the soundtrack for Aggie athletics for the last 40-plus years. And I saw some of the tributes. I was unable to get down there. It was actually one of those things I really wanted to do, JJ, and just my schedule didn't allow me to get down there. But to watch them go out on a win and watch Jack be celebrated. They had the videos and former players and former coaches and the reception that Jack got. And he was wearing a suit and his Sunday shoes, and he just looked good. I thought we would be horribly remiss if we just did not acknowledge what Jack has done and how appropriate that, he got his farewell tour. He goes out on a victory, not the greatest Aggie season ever. They're in fourth place, 16-13 overall, 9-7 conference after their victory. But just congratulations and best to a guy that I know you admire and I admire and consider a friend. Jack Nixon is terrific, and I know Aggie fan, and I think even Lobo fan would acknowledge that.
It's absolutely amazing to do something that long at that level, to be that good at it. It's what so many in the industry strive for, and it's unfortunate that it's going to be few and far between. This industry at the play-by-play level is changing a lot, and voices of programs, there's going to be less and less. That's just the reality of it, the way things are moving in this industry. And to be somewhere that long, it's special that you're able to do it because it's a tough career. Like, you're not, like, I don't know if people realize it, but, like, it's at this point in time, like, you can't be a voice and, like, that be your only job. Like, you got to be doing a lot of other things these days, and to be able to do it that long at that level, it's awesome. It's what everyone wants to do, but I think you are seeing, with a lot of these guys that have been places, 40-plus years. If you look around, especially NCAA basketball, man, that's on the majority of the broadcasters at this point in time, and you just acknowledge it because, as you said, there's soundtracks to so many people's sporting lives. It's awesome. I'd love to see it, and definitely enjoy those guys while you can.
Giddy up, Jack. You are a terrific human being and a terrific, terrific broadcaster, and congratulations on a great career. All right, when we come back, we're open for business. JJ is going to man the text line. I'll man the emails at 505-246-0610. The phone calls, the emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. When we get back, a lot of NFL news over the weekend. Want to hit that. Maybe your favorite quarterback didn't move. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
or surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some...
Back at it. Look, it is March. And the games are bigger. I mean, they're all big, right? Everyone's big. We got games, I mean, from now all the way through. The Mountain West Conference Tournament, Lobos, are going to be over on News Radio KKOB. The NCAA Tournament will be exclusively, once again, right here on the Sports Animal. The ladies in the Mountain West Conference Tournament and how far they go, exclusively right here on the Sports Animal. And we'll be at the Mountain West Conference Tournament all week. We start you off, I mean, today, look what we got today. Kansas at Houston tonight right here on the Sports Animal at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, Lobos in Nevada over on News Radio KKOV. Lobo women right here against Air Force on the Sports Animal. The final Lobo talk of the season is on Thursday right here on the Sports Animal. And then Lobo men's basketball back over on News Radio KKOB on Friday. Remember, we're going to be at the Mountain West Conference Tournament. JJ, that's next week already, which is just kind of bonkers. But we'll be there as we always are. And we want to say thank you to the people who are making sure that we're there, bringing that content to you. John Thomas Jewelers, see why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque for 4 straight years. Frank Supply Company, find whatever tool you need for every job. Echo Electric, your P&M authorized car charger installer. Corish Law Injury Lawyers, serving New Mexico for 5 generations. Airport parking, safe, secure, and the lowest price to park at the Sunport. Blake's Lotaburger, a New Mexico tradition for 52 years. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views, and Frontier Restaurant, an Albuquerque tradition for 50 years. JJ, we are in it. It is March, and it feels different, doesn't it? It just does when it hits March.
Of course, you're looking at every bracket update possible. How you feeling about the bubble? How you feeling about regular season championship? The momentum going into Las Vegas. You want to take that winning feeling with you in these last few days. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. All right, there's other stuff going on, and you can get in on that as well. You're sending me emails. I'll get to those. Where's the one email? I don't even know if this is going to make sense to most of you. It says, where are you now? Let me give you this one. Correction to J.J. Buck. It's from Carl. It says Mike Roberts didn't have just one job. He did sports at KOAT and 77 KOB and was also the voice of the Albuquerque Dukes.
Never said he
never said. You never said Mike Roberts had one job. You didn't. You said the days of being able to do it and have one job are over. And I think you're probably right, man. The way it's going now. Lobo Hobo says, where are you now, Jeffy? It looks like you're in Archie Bunker's basement. Does that mean anything to you at all? Archie Bunker's basement? Yeah. No, I might as well be in Archie Bunker's basement right now. And in fact, you might not be all that far off on that. All right. Big NFL news over the weekend. And what was this? It was on Friday. I don't even know if it was over the weekend, JJ, right? The Rams, everything that we kind of, I told you, this one played out like I thought it would. They told Matthew Stafford to the Rams, go out and find what market value is. And I thought that if it was within a number and right about $45 to $50 million a year was going to be that market value, I thought the Rams were going to match it. And so basically they let him go out and do the work so he felt better about the information. He came back. My favorite, I told you this on Friday, my favorite thing I heard was, and the Rams are hosting Matthew Stafford. And hosting him, he's got a damn locker there. That's where he works. But the Rams agreed to a restructured contract. Matthew Stafford stays in L.A. The Athletic is reporting that the Raiders were willing to give him a 2-year deal in the range of $90 million to $100 million, which would have put his average salary right about $45 and $50 million. And that's where the Rams came in. And JJ, it was awkward. It was weird. It was different. But like I told you last week, it didn't bother me as much as it did initially. Because it was almost like, okay, we got a good enough relationship. Go do your thing. Go find your value. Come back, and if we're comfortable with it, and if it's within our valuation, then we're going to match it. And we're going to keep you here.
I'm right there with you. I think this is one where the Rams almost didn't want to do something where it was upsetting. Like they came in, here's your contract. It's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Like even with winning a Super Bowl and knowing that that's still the best place for him to finish at the highest level he can over the next few years. It's Sean McVay, it's the Rams, what they have defensively and overall. I could still understand LA not wanting to be in a position where you go too low for the home down discount. Just, all right, Matt, cool. Go have some conversations, see what it's all about. Come back to us, and we'll be there. So I think the Rams were always willing to match a number, but this kind of allowed them to not be the ones coming in and going, we're going to give you $40 million here, or just $35 million here. They could say, okay, cool, we got it. We're comfortable with that. Let's go.
I think the Rams probably had their number in mind, and I think it was probably right about where it is. And to your point, instead of feeling like Matthew Stafford was insulted or whatever, it was so unorthodox and so different, and we really just haven't seen something like this. But it was like, all right, dude, well, go out and find your value. And if your value is more than that, more than we're willing to go, we'll trade you. We'll send you the Raiders. If they want to give you $55, $65 million, whatever the number is. But it came back right at the place where they were comfortable, where I think we all said right about where it was. Right? There's almost zero surprise here, right?
Makes a lot of sense for still the level he's playing at, where he's at in his career, and kind of the next 2 years for what the Rams are going to be dealing with salary cap-wise. This works well for both parties.
Yeah, and then they went out and they signed one of his best offensive linemen, tackle Alaric Johnson, to a 3-year, $57 million deal, $35 million guaranteed. So they secure what he's doing, and the Rams are saying, you know what, we got another 2-year window with this quarterback, and they look around, they feel that they've got weapons in Puka Nacua, and they like Kyron Williams, and they'll go out and they'll get better in the draft. That young defense was really, really good. And I'm going to tell you, I trust what they're going to do in the draft because, well, what they've done in the draft has been really impressive. And so that one, to me, was really, really, really not surprising. It completely played out the way I thought it was going to play out, and it was the right way. The Niners did trade Deebo Samuel. And you can sit there and say they didn't get much for him, and, well, you would be right, but they had no cards. Oh, wait, where did I hear that before? You don't have the cards. They didn't have the cards. You don't have the cards. They didn't have the cards. They had Deebo, a guy who wanted out, who's going to be, if they would lose him for nothing after next year. So they get a 5th-round pick from Washington. I love this for Washington. Like, I'm not going to lie. No, they're going to have to sign him, and they're going to have to pay him. So Washington takes on the remainder of the contract. They have to pay his full $17.5 million for this year, and then they'll have to deal with it. And the reason the price was so low is because there's no guarantee for next year. So basically, it's 1 year. If they can sign him, that's cool. That's another weapon for that young man. By the way, they went to the NFC Championship game, and I think they added a piece that is really dynamic for them. They didn't need another deep threat. They have Terry McLaurin. They've got guys who can go out and catch the ball. They've got this guy who, JJ, I think there's still something left there. I know the Niners.
There's plenty left, but he fell out of favor in San Francisco, and there's more important pieces you have to figure out than he's a wide receiver too.
Yes.
At this point in time. And
yes.
He's, 29, 30? So, yeah, I don't want to extend him that much. If you're the Commanders, you can because you have the rookie quarterback contract.
That's right.
You have veteran pieces around the roster, so you're not paying a ton of gigantic salaries, so you can splurge a little bit, knowing, as you said, you have your wide receiver one, and Deebo can be that Swiss Army knife in this offense. And you look at San Francisco. Like, you have Christian McCaffrey now. Ricky Pearsall, you took him in the first round. Brandon Ayuk has to come back from his knee injury, but you have all these pieces. It kind of devalues what Deebo Samuel is. And it's not just in one of the things with the NFL, like there's a limited tier of players that are going to get a first-round pick. It's like top-tier pass rusher, cornerback, quarterback. Like, this was never going to be a high draft pick, not just because of where Deebo Samuel is, but it's because they had to assume his entire salary. So that plays into it when you're looking at the value. Good move for the Commanders. Makes a ton of sense. We knew someone was going to be on the outside, and we've talked about it for like a year and a half now for the 49ers that, Deebo was going to be the guy on the outside looking in, especially after they re-signed Ayuk last year. And it's one, you're San Francisco, you get a little draft capital, and for the Commanders, Cliff Kingsbury does like to play East-West football at times, and that's where Deebo Samuel can function very well.
Niners eat $31.5 million of dead money. I want you to explain that to me because the whole cap thing blows my mind, and I think people go, well, wait, they just got rid of him, but it's going to hit them. When we get back, some Cowboy stuff as well. They're starting to move on the Micah Parsons deal, and a little bit of news this morning for you Cowboy fan. 505-246-0610. What are your thoughts on that Lobo win over the weekend? You feel better? I know you were getting a little nervous. I saw it on the social media. Oh, they're just another average Lobo team because they went on the road and lost to two good teams, and people were jumping off the bandwagon. You back on? Was your seat still warm? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed clothes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep,
Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter.
Maybe some wings. What's your dipping sauce on the wings, by the way? Which way do you go? You go barbecue, you go ranch, you go honey mustard?
Oh, dipping. If it's hot, like hot wings, I'll use some ranch. But if it's any other flavor, I don't need a dipping sauce.
You don't need to dip it? All right, but if it's like hot wings, it's the ranch?
Yeah.
All right. 505-246-0610. Come on and play radio with us today. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. All right, Micah Parsons has begun talks on a contract with the Dallas Cowboys. But Osa Digizua may be franchise tagged if they don't get a deal done with him. The deadline is tomorrow. And Jeremy Fowler, our good buddy, formerly of the Albuquerque Tribune, now at ESPN, is saying that the franchise tag for defensive tackles, JJ, is projected to be at $25.1 million. So if the Cowboys tag Odigizua, it would be the 7th time in the last 8 years they did opt for the franchise tag. The last 2 guys played on the tag were Tony Pollard and Dalton Schultz. They did not sign long-term extensions. They left the next year via free agency. They were able to sign Dak Prescott and DeMarcus Lawrence to long-term deals after they used the tag the second time. This is I don't know if it's significant. Obviously, they're going to keep him. I guess just how much, how much can you commit long term? And they're working on the Micah Parsons deal. I gotta believe Micah Parsons is the priority, but you can have more than one priority, can you not?
Absolutely. And you're using the tag. It doesn't mean that's the end all be all in terms of that's a contract. It allows you to still negotiate, but then knowing all right, the fallback is players here next year. Here's the number that you have to work with. And for Dallas, they're in a spot where most teams would like to be, to have a quarterback that you think can flash upper echelon potential. Locked in. You have an edge rusher who got one of the best in the game, right? Negotiate the contract. But it feels like all that isn't going to translate to more success. Like you take away Jerry Jones from this, and I think you're looking at it, and you could probably talk yourself into, all right, there's some pieces there that, this team hits on some draft picks. They can be competitive, but you insert Jerry Jones, the track record that he has, and you're just looking at, more of the same where they're not going to be better.
Seems to be the common denominator. Meanwhile, the deal with the long-term contract extension for Micah Parsons have started. They're calling it the early process. Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News is saying that. Parsons' final year, 5-year rookie deal, scheduled to make $24 million plus this year. And there's just not a lot of salary cap space, right? And so a long-term deal could be structured to give them cap relief for this year with a signing bonus that Parsons receives this year, but it's prorated over the duration. He's going to want something that, looks like Nick Bosa, right? Who averages $34 million a year as the highest paid pass rusher in the league. Cowboys got a lot of guys who want a lot of money, and they don't win a lot of games. 505-246. Tell me I'm wrong.
That about sums it up.
Yeah, a lot of guys want a lot of money. They just don't win a lot of games. 505-246-0610. Come on in. Happy Monday. Happy March. Let's go. Where are you? Phone's working in March. Did you pay your phone bills? What are your thoughts on that big Lobo victory over Air Force? You get Alfred and Noodle. Would it be nice to clinch a title against Alfred and Noodles? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, good merry Monday morning in merry March. Opening drive coming to you from Archie Bunker's basement, as Lobo Hobo said. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, glad you're with us. Our first show of March, JJ, as the madness begins. Looking forward to being in Vegas next week and looking forward to the last week of regular season basketball next Sunday. God, is that right? 2 Sundays out. 2 Sundays out is Selection Sunday. I'm like, wait, not next Sunday. But we got a lot to do and want to hear from you coming off the Lobos' 92-71 victory over Air Force over the weekend. Aggies get a big win at home on Jack Nixon's last. If any of you were there, if any Aggie fans were down in Cruces at Jack's last game, I would love your thoughts. I saw some of the videos. Have you seen, JJ, any of the videos online of the reception? Jack coming out with his hands in the air and the video that they did. Yeah, did you see all that? It was just, it kind of gave me the chills. You know what? Mike Roberts never got that, and Mike deserved that. And I'm glad Jack got like this is not by any means comparing one to the other, right? They're both great in their own way. But in our state, the fact that we had two guys that were in those chairs for 40 plus years that meant so much to the fan bases that listened to them, that grew up with them, that relied on them in a generation where even though local games, they were on after the news every night on KGGM. Yeah, but you listened to them live. And you grew up with Mike Roberts if you were a Lobo fan growing up in Albuquerque or in anywhere in New Mexico or, heck, anywhere around the western United States, because 770 KKOB's got that 50,000-watt AM signal. And I've told you, I've listened to it driving in Orange County, like on 770. That signal's so big. And Jack was the same for Aggie fans. So it always bothered me, and I'm not going to get into the politics and why and who and whatever, but I always, and I know it bothered Mike, and you knew Mike, right? I knew it bothered Mike that he never got that send-off that he so rightfully deserved, right?
Oh, 100%.
And it was great to see Jack get that, and just a good dude. So if you were down there, would love your thoughts. Aggies were winners 65-47 over Western Kentucky. Fourth place is where they sit in Conference USA. Their tournament's is it Huntsville, Alabama? I believe is where the Conference USA tournament is. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's where it is. Lobo women 65-61 in Fresno, secure a first-round bye in the conference tournament. And, JJ, I mean, for those who didn't catch that and watch that and see what the hell happened, you were down. I say you because you were there and you were the guy on the mic just going, what's going on? And I've called plenty of blowout games on the wrong side. 31-9, you're digging, all right, where are my notes, right?
Yeah, you're thinking of how you're going to just handle the rest of the broadcast. Like there's going to be some play-by-play, but there's probably going to be a little more storytelling, maybe big picture heading into the final regular season home game, what the conference tournament's going to look like, how you going to handle post-game. Probably not going to be another conversation if you're blowed out.
Bradbury's going to blow you off
What
again.
a week. It's long. You've been on the road the entire week. And still trying to wrap my head around how they came back. The bench was awesome. It was unbelievable performance from players that never played like that this season.
So does Bradbury change the rotation? I know with one game left in the regular season, changing your rotation, your starting lineup, I mean, for crying out loud, it's unorthodox, but it sure as hell seems like the bench is playing. I don't look. Okay, you're there. I'm not watching it like you are. I don't want to sit here and tell you they're playing harder, but it sure as heck feels like they're playing better and more efficiently than the starters
at Fresno State. Because it wasn't that way at Wyoming.
Okay.
Bench wasn't that way at Wyoming.
Right.
Does it change who comes off the bench? Yeah. Like Drew Jordan wasn't a rotation player this entire season. She comes out there, sophomore, transfer from Wagner. She's long, she's athletic. A lot of it is just not great on the playbook yet. Like where to be on the floor, but she was out there, had a really good game, points, rebounds, assists. I think she actually could get some rotation minutes. Tuesday night against Air Force. Now, the other player, Maya Moreland's your backup center, so she's been playing that way all year long. And Paris Laro, someone actually called about her the other day. She just wasn't pulling the trigger, man. She was hesitating, wasn't taking the shots. She's the second best shooter on that team, behind Cumber, and she could be that player that hits consistent threes. She has to take the shots, and in that situation, you're down. Coach is going to the bench. There's no reason to be worried. She wasn't worried, and she scores a career high 18 points. So that gives those two players an opportunity, I think, earlier against Air Force on Tuesday.
Yeah. All right. How was Bradbury after the game, by the way?
I think everyone after that game was just relieved, just kind of like, what just happened? How did Fresno State blow that lead?
So, okay, that's you said that, and we have this conversation, I don't know, regularly. Every comeback, did a team blow a lead or did a team come back? Was that a blown lead or was that a comeback?
When you're up 22 points, even though it was in the second quarter, that's a blown lead. Fresno State the second, third, fourth quarter, they missed shots they were hitting in that first quarter. And there's always that element, right? You might come back to the mean a little bit. They were really hot in the first quarter, 4-7 from three. Mia Jacobs was good, and then all of a sudden, like one of the best players in the conference, like missed everything the rest of the way. But the Lobos took advantage of that. The missed shots, they attacked the basket, they won the battle of points in the paint. So New Mexico didn't settle, and so Fresno State missed a ton of opportunities. Thus, the Lobos took advantage of that.
Yeah, winner 65-61. Carl says Lobo fans are piping mad, Jeff. All weekend I heard, why are the Lady Lobos having their final home game at the same time Lobo basketball is playing Steve Alford and Craig Reed in Nevada? It's from Carl. I don't know, man, because that's how the schedule is. Go get mad at Eddie Nunez for a while. All the women's games are ending on Tuesday, right? Because the tournament starts on Sunday? Saturday.
That is correct.
Sunday. Yeah, so all the women's games are there, and TV picked this game.
Well, the Mountain West is playing a full schedule on Tuesday on the men's side, too. They have to finish their season.
Because they're finishing by Saturday.
And it's a 20-game season, so you got to get them in somehow.
Yeah, and so the Lobos are – and look, the Lobo men play on Friday, and so a lot of teams are playing Saturday, but to play on Friday, you really don't need to be playing in Reno on Wednesday. I mean, in the NBA you do it, but you don't need to be playing in the NBA. You don't need to be playing in Reno on Wednesday and then coming back and playing a home game that means something, your final game against a UNLV team that can beat you. You travel back, you get home in the middle of the night. It's the way it is, man. People lose their mind over this stuff.
It's a bummer because I think it definitely would hurt the women on Tuesday night.
It does. It hurts senior night.
Yeah.
Yeah. They already did senior night, though, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of weird. Your last game isn't senior night. Is that why they did it? Maybe they saw
Not
this
100%.
conflict.
They knew they're going to get a better crowd regardless on a Saturday, and actually, I'm okay with it. Saturday afternoon, it was 5,600 people in the pit that day against Utah State.
That's really cool.
The three seniors, and a little bit easier. Like when you look at who was there in San Diego, like the majority of their high school girls team was able to come out Saturday afternoon, of course, for Vianney Cumber, the San Diego grad, the friends and family that were there for some of the other players. So it actually was easier for some more people to be in attendance.
Yeah.
It wasn't ideal. And people are like, why is it happening now? Because you know what? It works for the players.
Yeah. Well, and that's really what it's about. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get into any of that. Other hoop stuff. Did you catch have you watched Lakers with Luka at all? I watched a chunk of it last night. Yeah. Dude, they are real contenders. I'm not gonna look. Let me tell you this first of all. LeBron James should send a bouquet to Nico Harrison because at 40 years old, and LeBron's playing well, but he wasn't winning another championship with the Lakers the way they were constructed with Anthony Davis. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're going to win, but I'm not definitively going to sit here and tell you that they're not. JJ, they're contenders. Their bigs are playing well. Luka's just different. And, I think we all knew Luka is different. But what it's allowing LeBron to do, and they beat the Clippers last night, 108-102. Kawhi Leonard had 33 and looked really good. But Luka goes for 29 with 9 assists. LeBron had 17. He's 1 point short, by the way, of 50,000 career points, the combined regular season and playoffs. But what they're getting, and thank you for sending Dalton Connect back, and thank you for the 19 points off the bench last night. And they were without 2 starters last night. Austin Reeves didn't play. Rui Hachimura didn't play. So they get good minutes out of Gabe Vincent. Dorian Finney-Smith is giving you minutes. JJ, I don't know that I think they're better than Oklahoma City, but I'm not sure that they're not.
When you have those two guys on the floor, Luka and LeBron James, and Luka has brought a different energy to Lakers. Now, before the Luka trade, this team, since January 15th, was the best defensive team in basketball. No one had any idea about. No one talked about, and that was before Luka. And that was, Anthony Davis was in there, but still it's the rotation pieces. And what the Lakers have done, Dorian Finney-Smith is a perfect addition that no one talked about, but that was, of course, well before this Luka Doncic trade. It's the guys that play the roles. guys that don't need the basketball, the 3-and-D players. They have plenty of that. Dalton Knecht's been able to step up with Reeves out of the lineup over the weekend, and they're a dangerous basketball team. The trade deadline was unbelievable this year because it put the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors in the conversation for the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and the Warriors are now tied for that 6th spot with the Clippers. And that 6th spot, of course, means that you would stay out of the play-in tournament. Clippers got beat last night, so they are both – and I don't know what the tiebreaker is. The Clippers are listed above the Warriors right now, but it's a 3-way tie because Minnesota got a win last night. Minnesota, Golden State, and the Clippers with Sacramento and the Mavericks just a half game back. You've got 5 teams within a half game of each other fighting for that last play-in or the last spot in the main bracket. Which is crazy. And Sacramento just lost Sabonis for a while to an injury, which is going to hurt them. Phoenix is 4 games back. You see Kevin Durant just go off on his team last night after they lost again. They got run out of their own built by Minnesota. That franchise, like JJ, Phoenix is too good to be 4 games out of the play-in tournament. Like roster-wise, they should be too good. Don't you agree?
No.
You don't think they should be?
No, we saw it last year. They're not too good.
It shouldn't be that way.
Kevin Durant.
A team that's got Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, and
a team that has 2 players, and no one else is not going to be good, especially in the Western Conference.
It's that's poor construction. All right, when we come back, 505-246-0610. You can get in on what you need to. I want to get into the Pete Rose stuff. And one of the best receivers in the National Football League is probably on the market. What's he worth? Where does he go? And how much does he have left? I'm going to tell you, I think quite a bit. Hey, Fridays in March, Twin Peaks is your spot. You can celebrate Lent with their beer-battered fish and chips bundles every Friday through Easter. Top it off with a 22-ounce Miller Lite or Coors Light for just $12. You can get it with a soda for just $10 or iced tea. And, of course, they're bringing back Bourbon and Brews every Friday in March from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. You'll experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and amazing giveaways. So do not miss out. Stop in at Twin Peaks. And Fight Night is back at Twin Peaks. You can catch UFC 313. It's coming up on March 8th. There's no cover at Twin Peaks to watch the fight. UFC branded hat giveaways. You can enjoy buckets of Bud Light and bites starting at just $13 all day on Saturdays. And celebrate National Meatball Day, JJ. It's March 9th with the spicy meatball skillet or spicy meatball parmesan, both served with seasoned French fries. And the best part is it's all made from their scratch kitchen. Do not miss out. Head over on to Twin Peaks this March 8th and 9th.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indy Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Tomorrow, the Sports Animal, we've got Air Force and UNM. Lobos' final game of the regular season, final home game. JJ will have the call. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip from the pit. Meanwhile, over at News Radio KKOB, Lobo men will be in Reno taking on Steve Alford, Craig Neal, the Wolfpack. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock start, Lobos and Nevada over on News Radio KKOB. Final Lobo talk of the season on Thursday, 6 o'clock here on the Sports Animal. And, of course, Lobos and UNLV men, final game of the regular season. 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip on Friday from the pit against UNLV over on News Radio KKOB, and then we will be in Vegas. And JJ, you go. When are you going? Saturday? You going to? I guess Sunday, since they don't play on Sunday. You going on Sunday?
Going on Saturday.
You going in on Saturday. Lobo women will start on Monday. Lobo men will start on Thursday. The opening drive will come to you from fabulous Las Vegas. We'll be there next week for the conference tournament. I want to say thank you to our partners who make sure that we're there for you every year to bring you that content. Cornish Law Injury Lawyers, serving New Mexico for 5 generations. Echo Electric, your P&M authorized car charger installer. Frank's Supply Company, find whatever tool you need for every job. John Thomas Jewelers, see why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque for 4 straight years. Frontier Restaurant, an Albuquerque tradition for 50 years. Twin Peaks Eats, Drinks, Scenic Views, Blake's Lotaburger, a New Mexico tradition for 52 years. And airport parking, safe, secure, and the lowest price to park at the Sunpoint. I can't even believe, JJ, it's next week, dude, we're in.
We're in it.
Let's go.
It's here.
Yeah, let's go. I was looking at both Jerry Palm and Joe Lenardi, and Jerry Palm's bracket is out. He got a new one out today. He's got Lobos at a 9 seed playing Illinois. He's got Utah State still at a 9 seed after getting run out at Colorado State. He's got San Diego State as a 10 and Boise State in the playing game in Dayton. So right now Jerry has He still has 4 teams from the Mountain West in the NCAA tournament, but obviously somebody's going to get beat along the way, right?
Someone's going to get beat along the way. And is Colorado State going to play spoiler to the hopes of 4 Mountain West tournament teams?
According to Joe Lenardi over on ESPN, and I'm looking, what's the date on this one? That would be, well, he hadn't updated his bracket since the 28th, so he's got to have a new one out today. So I want to see what he's got. I was looking at his bubble watch, which is a whole nother story, and he's got New Mexico is almost a lock. So they'll have, again, whatever these mean to you, and I know we hinge on these, but as far as he says mid-majors, and I hate the term, he says should be in. He's got the Lobos at 92%. I like 92%, don't you?
Not bad.
Gonzaga at 88%. But he's got Utah State at 88% too. JJ, I mean, they're not going to lose to Air Force, and so they're gonna get a bye. They were in lock territory. Okay. He's got VCU, who the Lobos played in a pretty good spot at 81%. And then he says work to do. He's got both San Diego State at 70% and Boise State at 43%. So he's not as high on Boise State as Jerry Palm at CBS is.
Yeah, but when Boise State has an opportunity to maybe even get close to flipping spots with Utah State, like that's potential. If you beat Colorado State, you go into the Mountain West tournament. If they're a team that picks off a couple, that could be a flip-flop situation. All of a sudden, Utah State's looking at playing in the first 4 style. But for Utah State, they're hoping, all right, that was one of those, explain it away. Just like everyone else tried to do with that Lobo game at Boise State. Just, all right, just bad moment. Team got us. Let's get back. But if we're, I don't know, I guess, power ranking going into Vegas, I might have them at 5 in that top 5 right now.
Well, Utah State, the way it stands right now, could get UNLV on Thursday, right? So UNLV would play in that first game. They get Air Force in the first round. And if they get through Air Force, you could get a UNLV-Utah State matchup in the quarterfinals in the 6-3 game right now, which would be interesting, right? I mean, on their floor, in their place, UNLV can jump up and bite someone as much as they could get beat by Air Force too. But it'd be interesting. The way you're looking at the bracket right now, Lobos right now would play the winner of the San Jose State-Wyoming game. Does that concern you at all? Either San Jose State or Wyoming?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it should. I don't think it's a blowout, but I think you handle either one of those teams. And then you're getting the winner on Friday, as it sits right now, between San Diego State and Boise State. Boy, that's a hell of a game, that 4-5 game. It just is. But, I mean, that's where you are. All right, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Give you some NFL stuff to talk about. Matthew Stafford re-signs with the Rams, which is a big deal. And again, that kind of played out the way I think we all thought it would, where the Rams let Matthew Stafford go out and figure out what your market value is. They signed him. The Niners trade Deebo Samuel to the Commanders. Ian Rappaport of NFL Media reports that the Jets are taking calls about Davante Adams. Davante Adams is, do you agree, still one of the best receivers in the NFL? Because I think
I do.
Yeah, right? And I don't know how much he's got left. I mean, he's a veteran, but he's, dude, watching him the back end of last season with the Jets, he made some spectacular plays. Like I still think is he that guy? He's damn close, I think. Jets are, if they can't get a deal, then they're expected to release him. And I mean, I don't know how they're going to find a deal. JJ is
that's a gigantic contract that they're
right. So what do they eat? Because he's scheduled for a cap hit that's north of $38 million, and so they save almost $30 million if they just release him. Anybody who wants, there's no way somebody's taking on that contract, right?
No, there's not, unless someone's desperate and like we need Davante Adams, but they're not absorbing that contract. It's a situation, I believe, there'll be plenty of suitors for Adams, but it's going to come after he's released.
So where does he go? Like where does he fit? Does he go back? I mean, are we looking? Oh, New Orleans back with Derek Carr, or are we? I mean, look, does he fit? He fits everywhere. But so once he's released, right? He's a free agent, so that contract you don't have to pick up that contract, and so you know where he'd work really well? Kansas City.
I don't think they can fit that in. They actually have a lot of stuff they have to figure out.
It depends how much money he's demanding, right?
It's going to be more than they can sign.
All right. So where do you like him? Because
Houston Texans.
You like Houston? Yeah, that's actually really
Tank
good.
Dell suffered a major knee injury. Stephon Diggs tore his ACL, and he's a free agent. Devontae Adams, Nico Collins, C.J. Stroud.
What kind of cap space does Green Bay have?
Probably enough to sign a receiver because they're not paying a bunch of dudes.
That's what I'm saying. Would he go back to Green Bay?
Now that he's kind of watched Jordan Love and like, okay, this team is pretty good.
No, my point there is, they've got a bunch of good receivers, but they don't really have that. Each week it's a crapshoot. Who's going to be their main guy, right? Each week it's a different guy, and they've got a nice receiving core, but they don't have that, dude. Like,
if like realistic, impactful destinations.
Yeah.
I think Packers, Texans make a lot of sense.
What about Broncos?
I don't think so.
Just
You
not
want to
enough
play make
space?
sure, but I don't think that with what Sean Payton wants to do, that you just want to come in and then deal with someone's like, well, I need 15 targets a game. Bleep the offense. Just make sure I get 15 targets a game.
Is he still that guy though?
Mindset's still that dude.
Okay.
If you just tell me that he's still one of the upper echelon receivers in the game, that's exactly what he's expecting.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then I agree with you there. But I mean, he's another one of those guys who's like, where does he fit? And I'm like, well, anywhere.
Yes, most places, honestly. Like even, and yes, you wouldn't be like you don't even like a team like Denver. What I just said about the kind of the young quarterback, the mindset, you don't scoff at it. He's like, all right, if he's a free agent, every team with a pulse should be like, all right, should we give him a call? What do you think?
Yeah, no, he fits everywhere. So, yeah. All right. Where are you today? 505-246-0610. Come on in. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Y'all get really, really quiet when the Lobos win, don't you? People get a little loud when they get beat 2 in a row. Y'all got real quiet when the Lobos win. You got a big game tomorrow against Noodles and Alford. Maybe you're holding it for tomorrow. JJ, how cool would it be for Lobo fan to clinch that #1 seed? And I guess if Colorado State's not losing tomorrow, right? But if Colorado State lost, you would clinch the outright title on Marino's floor. I mean, like, how can they bring in their own ladder and cut down their nets?
No, but
no.
I would. You're not cutting down net. Like I
know. I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding, but I'm sure people will be like, "Where's the ladder? Why aren't they cutting down the nets?" Like, you want to come into the pit and cut down nets? No,
we even brought our own scissors.
We just like a ceremonial one in the locker room or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Nets. Be good for the socials.
We brought our own nets, or we cut down. You know, like when you go through the tunnel, there's those little other rims, the spare rims. You just cut the ones off of there. Like we brought our own scissors. We got nets. But boy, would it be something to do it there. All right, we'll get into that. I want to get into the Pete Rose story too, because there's a petition evidently, and Rob Manfred, the commissioner, is considering reinstating Pete Rose. Really? Everything I told you that would happen is going to happen this way now that he's deceased. And you're calling at 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Because they had mechanical issues on their plane. And so as much as they love going to Laramie, they had to spend an extra night. I was reading Mark Ziegler, the guy who writes their beat writer for the San Diego Union Tribune, and it's like they are so above having to go to Laramie. And it says, Laradice was actually Laradice. The sun was out. The wind was not whipping across the prairie. Temperatures were pushing, yes, 60 degrees in the dead of winter. It wasn't so nice inside Wyoming's Arena Auditorium for San Diego State's basketball team. The Aztecs played their typical game at 72-20 in front of a smattering of fans and an ocean of empty yellow and brown seats, which is to say plodding, ponderous, lethargic, anxious, nervy, and close. Brian Dutcher would be coming in for 25 years. It's a unique place where no one on his roster had played. It's just, they're so above it. Even their beat writer is just above having to go to Laramie, Wyoming.
Oh, yeah. Just probably has to fly into Denver, drive up, the hassle.
Yeah.
Laradice. Yeah, it's a tough place to get to, tough place to play, but
enjoy Pullman.
I know. So it's always excuses with the Aztecs.
Enjoy
the altitude, the asterisk, this or that. It's okay.
Yeah. Enjoy Pullman.
You guys were a championship level program, but you complain about everything.
That's right. Let's go to the phones. 505-246-0610. Tony, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's good, Tony?
None. I got tired of you talking about us not wanting to talk. I was excited about the game on Saturday, them whooping up on Air Force. I thought it was a good ball game. I enjoyed it. But I do have a comment. You know, Utah State played us really tough and took us to us up there. I was wondering if they just kind of forgot that they had the rest of the season to play. And there was a big letdown, and that's why they're in the condition they're in now.
I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I watched them, and I think they're good. I thought their record was better than I thought they were, but, I mean, they went out and beat teams. So, I didn't see the game against Colorado State. I just saw the numbers. I saw a recap, and I saw them get blown out of the building. And, did they just hit a wall? I don't know. Tony, I honestly don't have the answer on Utah State. They'll finish up. They'll beat Air Force, and it's going to be really interesting to see what they do in Vegas next week because I think a lot of it depends. If they go out early, if they go out in the quarters, I'm not sure they're in. Now, the bracketologists tell you they're in, but I'm not sure that they are. But we'll see. So, all right, Tony.
Hey, thanks a lot,
man. Thank you. And you can get in at 505-246-0610. I mean, you tell me, JJ. I saw them up close. I think they're good. I never really understood it. Martinez is nice. Valslev is nice. I don't know that I think their bigs are that good. They're deep. I think their bench is really good. I think they can go 8 deep. I look at them and I'm like, I think New Mexico's better. I think
it's not. I think Mexico is better.
Yeah,
I do think Mexico's a better basketball team. Though that Utah State plays that way for a reason, and it's what you just laid out. It's how they overcome not having some of the traditional bigs, but it works their style of play. What they've done, it's phenomenal. But that also doesn't mean you're guaranteed anything just because you're able to do it again with a new head coach. And I do think that they are closer to Boise State, which is the last 4 in, first 4 out territory right now, than comfortably into the bracket. Because there's a lot of bubble teams that are going to have more opportunities than any of these Mountain West squads when it comes to their conference tournaments.
That's right, because of the rankings, when they start playing teams, all these SEC, Big Ten, even the ACC teams, the net rankings, the quad games that are in front of them, the opportunities that are in front of them are more than what's in front of the Mountain West teams. Now, when you start getting into the top 5 Mountain West teams, so when we hit Thursday and when we hit Friday, the semifinal round, and assuming that form holds that you got your top teams going, there's going to be opportunities. But if you get beat before that, it's a bad loss, and it could just push you the wrong way. And there will be bid stealers. Somebody's going to come up like, what if let's just say Long Beach State, UC Riverside wins the Big West. Is UC San Diego going to get in? Is that a bid stealer, right? I mean, where are these spots going to come from? And JJ, there's going to be less, probably 2 to 3. I mean, ask somebody who got bumped for New Mexico last year how they felt about that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of these teams that you think is in, and they don't get in. Maybe they have a good enough resume, and 2 spots potentially. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't want to be there. When we come back, the ACC. So remember, Florida State and Clemson were suing the ACC revenue sharing. I got some updates on that, what it's going to mean as far as conference alignment in the ACC, and I think there's a ripple effect on this. So that's coming down this morning. I do want to get into the Pete Rose story. 505-246-0610. Your thoughts on Louisville basketball's win on a Saturday in the Pit, 92-71 over Air Force. So all that's open for you. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com, and 505-246-0610. Who's watching your house when you're not there? Make sure it's the good guys. IPS is there for you. It's affordable private security. I know you see them in your hood. They are rolling around your neighborhood. I know you see them when you go to the store because they are everywhere. They keep the bad guys away. They protect what is important to you. Look, police officers are great. There's just not enough of them to answer all the calls that they get for service. And when it's you, when it's your home, when it's your business, you need a quick response. How about 7 minutes or less? It's typically the time that IPS responds to calls for their customers. They have officers strategically placed around Albuquerque and in Santa Fe. They react quickly. They catch criminals in the act, detain them. IPS provides standing guards. If you need eyes on your property around the clock, they install alarms and camera systems, and they have the state-of-the-art facility monitoring those cameras 24/7. It all raises the level of security around your home and your business. So who's watching your home when you're not there? Make sure it's the good guys and not the bad guys. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Okie. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks.
Penalties for exiting the leagues with the grant of rights. So it basically what this is going to do is probably keep them together for the next 6-ish years on the ACC. And you know, JJ, there was this whole talk. Okay, well, if they blow up, then where their team's going to go, and then we're going to get here and we're going to get there, and it feels like that's going to keep the ACC together for a bit.
Yes, it does, and there's not going to be anyone that fills that vacuum. Like if the ACC blows up, all of a sudden there's not going to be this, reemergence of some Pac-12 power conference, and you scoop up these teams. So like the conferences that have the power are going to stay there, and if one happens to go away, guess what? The Big Ten, SEC get a little bit bigger, the Big 12 gets a little bit bigger, but no one slides into a $30 million per year type of conference.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right, when we come back, you're asking the questions about the rumors about the Utah job and some of the names, and one in particular that you're hearing. I'll get into that in a little. What we're hearing, what we see, get you some of that information. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I'll get those to you. Another hour to go as we are in March. Let the madness begin. Continue, commence, enjoy it. It's the opening drive. Thank you for being with us on a Monday on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Of the Rio Grande generation.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
Sports Animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, good morning and good March. It's the opening drive and final hour of our show comes to you live on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck gone through Lobos' 92-71 victory over Air Force on Saturday in the pit. A good day for Lobos to get right. 23.6 assists by Donovan Dent, a double-double for Nelly Jr. Joseph. 14 and 13, and a big day for Mustafa Amsil as the Lobos improved to 15 and 3 and tighten their grip on the number one seed in the Mountain West Conference tournament and head towards what may be and could be, and JJ, dare I say, I don't know, should be. Is that a fair thing to say? I mean, you still got to win at Nevada, an outright conference championship?
Should be.
All right. If you want to go there, I'm okay with that. Lady Lobos win on the road. They were down 31-9 in the second quarter. J.J. Buck, the voice of the Lobos, was deep in his notes. How am I going to tell stories? And how many siblings each player has and where they played
majoring in biology. And
But they came back and all the way back and win 65-61, a huge win for the ladies. They secure a first-round bye in the conference tournament. They'll wrap up the regular season tomorrow night in the pit and here on the Sports Animal. And down in Las Cruces over the weekend, New Mexico State with a 65-47 win over Western Kentucky. 16 and 13 overall are the Aggies, 9 and 7, good enough for fourth place in Conference USA. And it was the final home game, the final broadcast in the Pan Am Center for the legendary voice of New Mexico State athletics, Jack Nixon. And I was asking if anybody was there, if you were at the Pan Am Center, I would love to hear your thoughts on how that all went down, and because it just looks so spectacular. 505-246-0610 is how to get in today. 505-246-0610. Your emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. Texts are coming in. JJ, the text line says, any truth to what I saw on the interwebs? Patino interviewed for the Utah jobs. You guys hearing anything? I don't know that I've not heard that he has interviewed, but JJ, everywhere that you look, his name is one of the top names for that job, and his name is going to be up for, so many of the jobs that are open. Andre Miller's name is up for that job as you look around. I was looking, at the Deseret News and looking at the Salt Lake Tribune. Alex Jensen, the Dallas Mavericks assistant, is a guy that is the top name on both of them. Andre Miller, who's in the D League. You remember Andre Miller, the great point guard at Utah. He's coaching the Grand Rapids Gold of the G League. And then the third name on a lot of these, Johnny Bryant, the Cleveland Cavaliers assistant, but Richard Pitino's name is on all these lists. They love him. They think it would be a home run hire. All I can tell Lobo fan when it comes to this kind of stuff, JJ, hold on. Like his name, Richard's name, is going to be up for a lot of jobs, and Utah is going to be able to pay somewhere in the area $3.5 million. They're in the Big 12. It's a power conference. Now, people will say, well, it's not back east, and you're right. You're right. Does it feel like Richard, if he takes a job, would go back east? I don't know. I mean, you just never know where it's going to go. Did you see him in Minnesota? Did you see him at New Mexico? I remember when Matt Rule, the football coach, who's at Nebraska now, went to Baylor, and I'm like, wow, it's just not a right fit. Well, it was a great fit. So, JJ, all I can tell people is hold on. There's going to be a lot of rumors. Don't believe everything you see on the interwebs, but there's going to be a whole lot of noise.
Absolutely, and who knows, man, when it's on Twitter and it's coming from, hey, I know a guy that knows a guy. It's all that stuff. It's just, all right, let it play out, man. Fan bases are going to throw out names. They're going to be hungry and chirping at everything, and you put something out, it gets a ton of interaction and goes back and forth. And like you said, you got to let it play out. And at this point in time, I'm not worried about the Utes and what's going on. It's Nevada, and the Lobos trying to clinch a regular season championship. Do really get it in Vegas and see what happens in the division.
Yeah. Alex Jensen's name it seems to be the guy who gets the top billing on this thing. Jeff Hornacek's name is being thrown around. He'd be really interesting. But like Richard's showing up on everything as like the number 2 or number 3 guy for that program. And look, it's not just going to be that one, man. It's not going to be just that one. He's going to be up for a lot of them. Let's go 505-246-0610. Fred. Good morning, Fred. You're on The Sports Animal. How you living?
Hey, guys. Hey, I wanted to talk about a few things, but I know you've already brought this up about Laura scoring 18 points, but I thought that was really cool. I've always wanted her to get a chance to see what she can do, and so I'm real proud of her winning that game 31-9, being down 31-9. But what I wanted to bring up was, we're always worried about Coach Franklin. He was such a good coach, and here this new coach, Coach Goslin, in his second year wins the indoor women's conference track and field championship. And the thing is that he brought in this freshman girl, Koji. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but she won the 3 mile and the 5 mile and scored 30 points. And the thing is, what's crazy was she wasn't named the athlete of the year. A girl from San Diego State wins it, winning the 100 and 200. That doesn't make any sense. You win 3 big, long runs, and you don't win the athlete of the year. By the way, the coach for San Diego State, I just want to bring her up. I'm pretty sure you know who this is, Jeff. It's Sheila Burrell.
Oh, wow.
And she played at Rio Grande High School, was a great athlete, and then she went to UCLA and had a great career there. Then she was in the Olympics and twice in the heptathlon and finished, I think, 4th and 7th. So it's kind of neat that we have a young lady from here, and especially Rio Grande High School. And then I wanted to bring up the men. Even though they lost, gosh darn, they lost 165 points to 161. We were so close to winning that. And Samuels, of course, wins the 5 and the 3, and he was the track aide of the year for the second year in a row. And then, of course, one of the neatest things was Watts, the defensive back for the Lobos, winning the 60 and 6.68, I think it was. Yeah. And it was neat about the story about how he'd only been unattached in 2 meets before he joined the team just a week ago. He wins the 60-yard dash, and I thought it was kind of funny the quote the coach had. He says, as soon as he was like at 10 meters in, I knew the thing was over. I thought that was kind of cute that he could tell that Watts was doing so well. And then one more thing, the baseball team. God, they have hitters like they always do, and this year they've had hitters again. They won 14-13, 15-14. No, they lost 14-13, won 15-14, won 8-4, and won 10-9. And I mean, these guys are hitting the ball. It's about, I don't know what it is. I haven't even looked to see what they're batting, but it's really high. It's their pitching. They got to get a little better pitching, and we're doing better now. But anyway, had a lot of things to say. And the last thing, why are you in a closet, and why did you have a hoodie on today? I don't think you explained why. I just want to know why. And
he's wearing clothes. Fred.
All right, Fred. I'm in a garage, and it's cold, so I put my hoodie on because my bald head gets cold.
I want to wake up everyone else in the morning when you're doing the show.
Yeah, I'm on the road, and I guess I should have put up a blurred background, huh? It's a garage. Is my studio today, and it's just it's probably not an insulated garage, so it's a little chilly, and so I put my hoodie on. So you'd never know I was on the road.
For the Lobo Minute, appreciate it.
Yeah, it's our Lobo Minute. All right, that was your Lobo Minute, and thank you to Fred for a lot of info there.
Cam Watts look just crazy though.
Yeah, I agree.
The football players, I'm just fast. Like, yes, you are, sir.
Yeah. Text line, hey fellas, what a huge scoring win for our UNM Lobos basketball team, men's basketball team against Air Force. Now it's UNLV in the pit. I'm confident we get another win. You got to believe. Go take care of business in Reno first too, because you got to finish it out there. This one says, good morning, Jeff and JJ. Lobos got to close out the regular season strong and run the table in Vegas. Did the powers that be at Cumulus ban Jeff to the basement today, or is he on assignment to search for where the UTAGs team disappeared in Fort Collins? I didn't realize how many people watched the stream, JJ.
Appreciate that.
Look what Adrian's doing. Yeah.
You look good though this morning. The background was the closet. I get it. You look good.
It's a garage. Here, if I turn it this way, would it be better? Not really. I mean, here's a full. It's the garage, man. I mean, it's like.
I don't know if anyone's ever sounded that good in a garage.
Look, man. There's the Peloton right there. You see it? I got the Peloton.
Good lighting too in the garage.
Well, now that the sun came up, now that it came through there, I had to move back over here. I didn't. It's like Adrian. This should be validation for the work that Adrian's doing on ProView Networks every single day. That people are watching the stream on our Facebook channel or our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, or on Xfinity Channel 26, or on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks, or wherever it is you get your stream. The people are watching. It's pretty. All right, it's pretty cool. You can get in 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, JJ, I do want to hit this, and I don't. It's somebody told me yesterday. Who cares? I think a lot of people care. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, is considering now a petition to reinstall Pete Rose to baseball. Isn't that nice? Now that the gentleman is deceased. Everything I told you how this was going to play out, it's playing out. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
And you'll see a lot of conference tournaments this week. We'll be in Vegas next week. The madness has begun. Big one tonight here on the Sports Animal, Kansas and Houston, 7 o'clock. Big game in the Big 12. Tomorrow, we got Lobo men's and women's games for you. Ladies will be right here on the Sports Animal. JJ will be courtside at the Pit. Lobo's final game of the regular season, they play Air Force. Meanwhile, the men will be up in Reno. Big one up in Reno against Alfred and Noodles and the Wolfpack. That'll be 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip over on News Radio KKOB. Lobo Talk, the final one of the season on Thursday, right here on the Sports Animal, 6 o'clock. And then, of course, Lobo men's basketball, the final game of the regular season. Your last chance to see the Lobos in the Pit this year will be on Friday against UNLV. It'll be over on News Radio KKOB, 8 o'clock tip, 7:30 pregame. And then JJ and I will be in Vegas, and the conference tournament's coming your way. Many of you are going to Vegas as well. Looking forward to seeing you there as the opening drive will come to you from beautiful and fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to say thank you to the partners who make sure that we're there for you every year. Frontier Restaurant, an Albuquerque tradition for 50 years. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. Blake's Lotaburger, a New Mexico tradition for 52 years. Airport parking, safe, secure, and the lowest price to park at the Sunport. Cornish Law Injury Lawyers, serving New Mexico for 5 generations. Echo Electric, your P&M authorized car charger installer. Frank's Supply Company, find whatever tool you need for every job. And John Thomas Jewelers, see why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque for 4 straight years. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. All right, JJ, we've had the conversation for years and years, on and off. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Should, back and forth. And everybody who's got an opinion on this is pretty entrenched in their opinion. Those who say absolutely not. He committed the cardinal sin. He bet on baseball, and if you let him back in, then what's to dissuade anybody else from betting on baseball? Understood. I've long held the opinion that I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. That I thought that baseball is a museum of that sport, and it's throw ball, hit ball, catch ball, and the guy who hit ball more successfully, number-wise, than anybody in the history of the game, the guy who's got more hits than anybody in the game should be in the Hall of Fame. But I always believed that he should not be allowed back into baseball where he could have made money, right? Where he could have been a manager, a coach, a consultant, whatever. I thought, if you want to continue the ban, okay, but I thought he should have been in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose, more than anything, and made it very clear that he wanted to be in the Hall of Fame. And I've told you for years, I firmly believed that once Pete Rose dies, baseball was going to put him in posthumously, right? I've told you that for a long time, right? And Pete Rose has passed away, and Commissioner Rob Manfred is now considering a petition that was filed back in January by Pete Rose's family to have Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. And I look, why you just refuse to give? I mean, that's all Pete Rose wanted. And he got older. Now, look, he was defiant. Was he a great guy? Probably not. Did he bet on baseball? He did. But this is kind of playing out exactly the way I thought it would.
Seems the way it works a lot of times is, after the fact, you go back and you do something now that the person can't enjoy it or get the honor. And this one, do you have just, Pete Rose, the player, right? The plaque for the player and his accomplishments, and then somewhere else in the hall, whatever stories are told when it comes to that and betting and why he was banned from the game, the steroid era. It's a story of the game. Do you want every negative thing in there? Probably not, but those are gigantic stories. The steroid era changed baseball in the way that, it's governed when it comes to drug tests and what these players have to do. And the players that tested positive, they know they're probably going to be outside looking in, but then you're dealing with, we think this guy did it, but did he really do it? Not for sure. And then the Pete Rose stuff, that's pretty cut and dry. You know what he did as a manager. Can't do it. Eliminated him from baseball. And I think the conversation probably should be, as a player, does he deserve to have a plaque there? Sure. This one, I'm not a Pete Rose guy, man. I wasn't alive. Right? So it doesn't hit me the way it does some other baseball people.
I watched Pete Rose when I was a kid. Pete Rose played baseball, quote unquote, and I agree with this quote, the way the game's supposed to be played, right? He played hard every play. I showed you the video of him running over Ray Fosse in the 1970 All-Star game, or 71, whatever year that was. And then he gambled on baseball. And so that was always my line was, all right, you know what? Dude should not be allowed back in to make a living. Pete was in that mall, in that sporting goods store, that apparel store in a mall in Las Vegas, signing autographs. And people would come by, and Pete appreciated everybody telling him that he should be in. And you've seen the documentaries. Pete Rose is the all-time hit leader in baseball. He was a switch hitter. He played a bunch of positions. He was a hell of a baseball player. He's a Hall of Famer. That was always my line on this. And I know so many of you draw the line before that and say, no, dude, he cannot be in. Okay. And I respect that. I disagree with it, but I respect it. There's a lawyer who's representing Pete Rose and his family. He represented Pete till he died in September of last year. He was 83 years old. He filed the reinstatement petition after he and Pete Rose's oldest daughter, Fawn, met with Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, back in December. Quote from the attorney for Rose and the family: "The commissioner was respectful, gracious, and actively participated in productive discussions regarding removing Rose from the ineligible list." Evidently, this was a 1-hour meeting, JJ. The attorney said he's seeking Rose's removal from the ban list for betting on baseball, quote, "so that we could seek induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, which had long been his desire and is now being sought posthumously by his family," end quote. Major League Baseball did acknowledge that the commissioner met with the daughter and the lawyer, that the commissioner is now reviewing the petition to reinstate Pete Rose. In December of 2015, the commissioner rejected Pete Rose's reinstatement petition after meeting with Pete Rose. The commissioner didn't respond. He's not commenting on this. I'm going to guess, JJ, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the commissioner just says, you know what, I reviewed it and nothing has changed, and it's the same where this is. But I'm going to guess at some point they relent and they're going to say he's in.
Well, they reinstate him, but he still has to get voted in, right? Or are they just going to reinstate him?
No. Yes. Okay. Then that's a great point.
If you're a Major League Baseball at this point in time, wouldn't you just leave it up to the voters? Say, all right,
yeah,
let's see what happens.
So was it Friday? Donald Trump, who's pardoning everybody, Donald Trump said he would pardon Pete Rose if he could. I don't know. I don't know that the president gets pardon powers over Major League Baseball. He can, which is kind of crazy, but maybe he does. I don't know. He said he would pardon Pete Rose, and he criticized Major League Baseball for barring Rose from the Baseball Hall of Fame. It was in 1989. Bart Giamatti banned 1989, dude. What's 25 and 11? That's 36 years ago is when Pete Rose was banned from baseball. This is Trump on social media. This was on True Social last week. Over the next few weeks, I will be signing. Oh, he's going to pardon him. JJ, I had not seen this before. Okay, this is Trump on social media last week. Over the next few weeks, I will be signing a complete pardon of Pete Rose, who shouldn't have been gambling on baseball, but only bet on his team winning. He never betted against himself or the other team. What? He had the most hits by far in baseball history and won more games than anyone in history. Now that was his tweet. Trump didn't say why. It didn't say what the pardon would cover. I mean, it could be his prison term. Because remember, Rose served 5 months in prison when he pleaded guilty to tax evasion in 1990. So it's so good, man. So wait, he never bet against himself or the other team. Well, he had to bet against someone, didn't he? That's what Trump's tweet says or social media post. He never betted against himself or the other team. This is going to be good. It just is. And the lawyer, by the way, says he has not actively sought help from the White House. Make you feel better?
Yes.
It's so good. All right, 505-246-0610. We can get into this. Do you feel differently now? Should Pete Rose posthumously be in, or are you still holding, you know what, absolutely not. He should not be in. He bet on baseball. He committed the cardinal sin. Like absolutely not. And I'm okay. I respect you if you're there, because I know many of you are. This is playing out, JJ, exactly. Well, not exactly, because I didn't see the president coming in and deciding he was going to pardon Pete Rose and let him in. But okay. other than that. 505-246-0610. Hey, spring winds are picking up, and it's going to be that way this week. All that dirt and debris running around. You want to make sure your vehicle stays protected to avoid the scratches. If you want to protect the value of your vehicle, one of your biggest investments, I highly recommend calling my friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Their paint protection film and ceramic coating services are incredibly helpful. You'll avoid scratches, stains, fading paint, plus your car is going to have a glossy new look that helps maintain its value. They've been awarded Best in the City because they are best in the city. They do whatever it takes to make your car look and feel brand new. And they will come out and they will detail your vehicle. This is what they're known for. They're on-the-spot automotive detailing. They come to you at your convenience, where it works for you, when it works for you, and detail your vehicle. That means at home, at the office, wherever and whenever it's convenient for you. Inside, outside, around the rims, like your car will look and feel brand new, like the day off the lot new when they are finished. On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Give them a call. Actually, just book and buy online. It's all right there. Everything's online. Go to otsdetailing.com and you can purchase there. It's otsdetailing.com.
95.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Does the ban expire when your life is over?
Let's let the voters decide.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So your point is dead right. So if it's a lifetime ban, so he's not banned anymore. Now you put it to the voters, right? It'd be interesting to see how they feel about that. But to me, if it's a lifetime ban, it's over. All right, you guys are fired up about this. Let's go. 505-246-0610. Earl, you're up first. How are you, Earl?
Hi. Listen, I really didn't call to talk about Pete Rose.
Okay.
But considering the most recent conversation, I'm going to tell you, for the last 10 years, I thought he should be in the Hall of Fame for sure. It just as much as the Astros get to have a World Series title, and that's it. I'm going to leave that at that. I think Pete Rose, unfortunately, someone must have hated him a lot. I'm not sure who that was, but something happened there that I can't explain. I really called to talk about, because you brought it up, and this whole Dallas Cowboys thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to go back in time because you guys had a segment about the Cowboys got a new head coach, and if you don't like him, who should be the head coach? And truth be told, I think that Jerry Jones should be the head coach. And that might sound like I'm being a smart ass, but I think he should be the head coach. And that way we can find out how good he really is. And that's what I'm thinking.
Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, Earl. Why not? You're the boss. You can do whatever you want, right? Frank. Good morning, Frank. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up?
Morning, boys. Back in town. The sailboat's tucked away for the summer. I can't believe that guy just stole my thunder, man. I mean, what's the levity of cheating? I mean, I'm a Yankee fan. When I hear trash cans when we go to Boston, what is the point? Is that going to – come on, let's be real with this thing. I'm catching up on the shows. I've been out of town.
Yeah.
And my daughter gave me a memory of – I think you did a show about best moment in the pit.
Yeah.
And I had one season I had tickets in front of Rudy and his parents. And we ate more pistachios than they could make in Alamogordo. And had a great time, but I was a heavy drinker and a passionate Lobo fan years ago. And my daughter reminded me of this. She said, "Hey, Dad, remember when we went to a BYU game and we sit down and we're surrounded by Lobo fans. And as soon as the game started, like 100 people took off their Lobo shirts and were BYU fans." And
really?
Turns out I was so drunk. I'm going to leave you with this visual. I had Jimmer Fredette's mother in a headlock.
Oh, all right. Well, have you sobered up?
No, hell no.
Hell no. Hell no. All right, Frank. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Wow. Where are we going? Let's go to Robert. Let's see where Robert wants to go. I mean, we're potpourriing today. Hello, Robert.
Yeah, I met Pete Rose a couple of times there in Vegas. He
Yeah.
used to sign autographs at one of the sporting goods dealers there in one of the malls. And, he didn't end up with a lot of money because he was there trying to make money taking tips for autographs. So
That's right.
he used to hang out there quite often, actually. That was his job. He died of a heart attack at 83 there in Vegas. Hey, and also I wanted to give you a tip. When you're in Vegas, I don't know if you've tried the Ellis Island restaurant. Have you ever been there?
I've
on
not.
Cobalt?
No. Ellis Island?
You should try it. It's one of the favorites, the local favorites. Reasonable prices, a lot of food, and then also another fun place is the Hofbrau House there in Vegas.
Yeah, I know that place. Right,
Oktoberfest every day. Anyway, just a couple tips. I know you might have a little time to go out and do some sightseeing. Also, the Sphere. I've taken a tour of that, and that's worth looking at. Anyway, you guys have a great day.
Thank you, Robert. Hofbrau House, right on the way over from the Virgin to the Thomas and Mack Center. So that place is right there. I got a few local favorites that I like there too. Oh, where'd this go? This has been the Potpourri Random segment. All right, no, keep them coming. I'm up for it. Throw me another curveball. 505-246-0610. I'm in for that as well. Here you are. Pete Rose does not belong in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. That's on the text line. Neither does Shoeless Joe Jackson, Mark McGwire, Sosa, Palmeiro, Schilling. They shouldn't have let Bonds in. They haven't let him in. Cheaters in any sport disgrace that sport. Yes, that includes Bregman and anyone else on that Houston roster. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Look, I understand that point of view, and I respect it. I have a differing point of view, but I absolutely respect it. And JJ, I mean, the people who are like, you cheated, you're out, and I get it, and I respect it. Do you?
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think I think it was Earl, the first one, brings up of what they did with the Astros. It's like, okay, yeah, you were caught cheating, but we're not going to go through the mess of trying to do anything with that. It's almost like, okay, then just reinstate Pete Rose and then let the voters decide his fate.
And I think that's where this is going to go. Thought it would have been fun, says the text line, if during a break Jeff would have put on a suit jacket and tie and announced Mick Cronin's filling in for the rest of the show. That's from Terry. I could have done that. This one says, I wonder how Lobo basketball fans feel when we have great coaches and then they bolt. We have an amazing fan base. Go through this every time is brutal. Feels like we'll never have a coach to actually get us to where we want to go because they leave. This is on the. Somebody asked earlier if there's any truth to the fact, or to the fact, any truth to the internet chatter that Richard Pitino was interviewed for the Utah job. I don't know that he's interviewed. But his name is certainly up for the job. It's everywhere you look. Richard's name is one of the 4 or 5 names that are tied to potentially getting that job. This one says, "Don't worry, Lobo fans. Pitino isn't going to Utah. They have Mormon qualifications for their coach. I'm pretty certain Rick Pitino was not. Rick Majerus was not. Not Rick Pitino. Rick Majerus was not. And I don't know that at the University of Utah that is a requirement. BYU probably a little more stringent with it. But again, look,
dude, in the coaching stuff,
yeah,
everyone's like, you've had 2 coaches in over 25 years that quote unquote left for something better. You fired Fran Fraschilla, fired Richie McKay, fired Craig Neal, fired Paul Weir. So what is this? Oh my gosh, we're losing something great again.
Yeah, you've had 3 basketball coaches since I want to say 99 who have left. Dave Bliss went to Baylor for more money. Steve Alford went to UCLA for more, and that's 2, right? And if Richard leaves, and that'll be another. And it's not just you, man. It happens everywhere.
It's just this mindset of we can never have anything good. No, you can. And I remember vividly, too. So don't act like everyone loves to throw a mess at Happy with Steve Alford. The morning after they lost that Harvard game, people were saying he can't do it. So don't act like, this is all Steve Alford for messing with Happy. The majority of that show, I understand, was frustration. It wasn't just about the loss, but it was about, okay, can this guy actually get it done?
Yeah, and you guys wanted it. Well, I don't want to paint with such a broad brush, but such a large portion of Lobo fan wanted him out. Then it was announced, I want to say it was the next week, right? Because that was probably on Thursday. Well, it was on Thursday or Friday you lost to Harvard. The next week it was announced that he had agreed to the deal. And JJ, it was a Saturday morning where the UCLA thing happened. And we went to that press conference, and you and I just came in and opened up the mic. Mm-hmm. And we're on the air for 4 hours. and could have gone more than that on a Saturday afternoon. That's one of the craziest days I remember of us ever doing radio at this station. Was when Alfred said it was a Saturday morning. I remember I was at a piano lesson for my daughter, and my phone started blowing up. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And we came in and we just opened up the mic on a Saturday, and the place went bonkers. One of the most crazy days of radio that we've ever done. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to come in. We still have time for you, 888-922-0610. You want me to get Wayne in before the break, or you want me to take this final break? All right, let's go Wayne. Wayne, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, it's good talking to you guys. Long time no talk.
Yeah, good to hear
I
you.
guess I want to chime in on the whole Steve Alford, the coaching thing, because you're right. A lot of people do have PTSD from Steve Alford as far as him leaving, because he pretty much made a top 10 team, and then they left. And I think what needs to happen with Lobo fans is they need to stop treating good coaches like a fat guy finally getting a hot girl. So I think they need to start being prideful that they deserve a good coach, and stop being so scared that someone's going to leave, and make it a good spot for people to want to be here. I think sometimes fans are very fickle here because we don't have any pro teams, so they almost treat a college program like a pro team, and almost are maybe a little bit more harsh and or insecure about who they have. And so when they see success, they sometimes get a little insecure and start pushing a lot of other agendas, which doesn't make it a good place for you. So you hypothetically, even if you lose a good coach, it's hard to get another one to come back. So I think the fan base has a lot to do with it, and the media has a lot to do with it. So I think sometimes as fans, we just need to really appreciate what we have and realize that we deserve good coaches to be here in New Mexico. But that's just my take.
No, thanks, Wayne. Look, if he does leave, or whenever it is, I think this place is in a pretty good position to get a really good coach in here. I think this is an attractive job. It's not a power job. It doesn't pay $3.5 million, but it'll be an attractive job if it happens. Dude had Jimmer Fredette's mom in a headlock. Is that what he told me? He was so drunk he had Jimmer Fredette's mom in a headlock. Frank may go in the Hall of Fame for that. Ken, stay there. Got to take this final break. Want to hear your call when we get back. We'll wrap it up on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Good stuff this morning, good conversation. Larry says, I'm with you, Hefe. Put Charlie Hustle in as a player, but not as a manager. All right. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. And, JJ, I think your answer is right. I mean, to me, the lifetime ban is over because his life is over. They didn't say a forever ban. That's not how it was always written. It was a lifetime ban. So now his life is over. Ban should be over. And your point is put it to the voters, and I think that's the right answer. Put it to the voters. Put him on the ballot, and if the voters vote him in, then Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. 505-246-0610. Ken, thank you for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Ken.
You're welcome, guys. So we kind of know Patino now. He's kind of like New York, kind of sarcastic, great coach. I've never got the impression that he would just go anywhere because of the money. He could have stayed at Minnesota unemployed and made twice as much as he's making here in New Mexico. So if there's any truth to this, think of the massive distraction this is to his team. If this starts to come out with any kind of truth, he is playing for everything right now. This week is a massive, massive resume builder for his future career. If this gets out to the players that he is maybe actively trying to leave, we can literally go 0-2. It can disrupt the entire season, what we've done this far, if this has any truth to it. Because once Dent hears about it, once True Washington hears about it, like let's say this is true, and he's maybe actively putting his name out there, it couldn't come at a worse time. We understand at the end of the season, if he wins this league outright, he's got to win 2 games this week. And if he doesn't, and Colorado State wins 2 games, they're the champion. We're not. If we lose in the first or second round of the tournament, are we an at-large bid team? Maybe not. Maybe we don't get into the tournament. And then all this talk is mute at this point. He has got so much to play for in this next month that would determine his future as a basketball coach in a Power 5 conference. So he's a very, very smart guy. He's not going to leave just because somebody gives him $4 million. He's going to leave because somebody gives him $4 million at Louisville. Or he's going to leave because somebody gives him $4 million at Arizona. He's a very smart guy. He would not leave to go to Utah. What's at Utah? Of course, that's a lot of money. But to me, he seems like the guy. It's got to be the right fit. He can't sit there and create a fan base. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to go where the facilities are subpar. He doesn't want to do that. He's going to go someplace that it is a perfect fit for him and his family, where they can win basketball games at a high level and have a built-in fan base, just like his dad, Kentucky, Louisville, Iona, because he was busted, and then he went to, to a really good situation at St. John's. So he's not going to go to Utah, in my opinion, knowing Pitino. He will go someplace at the end of the season if he builds his resume, which means that is a regular season conference championship, goes to the NCAA, makes some noise there, maybe a game. Then you could sit there and go, wow, look who's sniffing around. But Utah, I mean, you guys see it, that's a good fit for Pitino, an East Coast guy. It was hard to believe that it was a good fit here, except he has the fan base. He has the facilities. So he could work with that, and we have to kind of get to know his character, because he is very sarcastic. You don't know kind of what he's thinking all the time. And so what do you guys think about that?
All right, so I don't think Utah's a horrible place. Is it a basketball school per se? I think back in the day it used to be a basketball school when Rick Majerus was there. And I think, is it more of a football school? Kyle Whittingham has done. They've become a really powerful football school. I've told you for years I think you can be both. Their facilities are good. They are in a power league. Does he jump just to any place? No. Just because, look, his name's going to be out there for a lot of jobs. Is that going to be a distraction in its own right? We're going to have to watch that. But if it comes out, well, he did go out and he interviewed, then we got a whole different issue. But I think does he want to go back east? Does his family want to go back east? He wants to go to a situation. And I think Richard's smart enough that he will listen to what's presented to him. And if that's the right place, look, I don't know how much money. If somebody throws $4 million at you, do you take it? Is that the ideal spot? I don't know. But if it comes up and it's offered, and first of all, I don't know that I think he's the leading candidate for that job. I think he is a candidate. So that's where I am, Ken. I think he listens. I don't know that I think it's a huge distraction for the team this year or this week, because I think his name's going to be up for a lot of jobs. You heard it for Miami. You're hearing it for Florida State, and it's not the last three. So that's where I am. Appreciate it. JJ, where are you on it? I mean, am I close?
I'm with you on that one. It's, just Twitter speculation. I don't feel the same way necessarily as even, say, the Bronco Mendenhall situation, where you could see, like, he was just, that made a lot of sense, like a dude that didn't want to be there anymore. I don't feel that way with Richard Pitino. Like, if an opportunity comes, that him and his agent are going to listen, but I don't feel like it's just going to be like, boom, first ship out, because he would have taken that bite.
Yeah, the first ship is come and gone. All right. Good stuff today, Adrian. Great stuff. I mean, Lord, who knew the basement? I mean, I literally was in the basement or in the garage. We get so much love. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. The Herd with Colin Cowherd's next. The Jim Rome show's after that. 2 Men On's in at 4. The opening drive returns with more award-winning radio tomorrow morning. We will start at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work on the visuals. Big day for you, huh?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. Our broadcast partner is JJ Buck. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. Thanks for being with us. Have a great, safe Monday, boys and girls. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans.